Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and it's MORBIN time, because just now, LEGO has officially revealed the 4 new 2023 Marvel superhero sets, and yes, the rumors were true, we are getting an official LEGO MORBIUS minifigure. Now this is really exciting because not only are we getting our favorite vampire, but we also are getting a host of other sets, including a Ghost Rider bike, which is really exciting, a set based off of the original LEGO Avengers 1 movie, which is quite cool. We haven't gotten many of those in recent years, and a remake of the original 2018 Hulkbuster for the Battle for Wakanda sets, which is quite interesting because they just did one of the Age of Ultron Hulkbusters, so I'm kind of curious as to why they're making another one, although it does look quite good. Now, these are not the only sets that will be released for Marvel this coming year, but these are so far the ones that have been revealed. This is incredibly exciting, and I can't wait to showcase them to all of you, so without further ado, let's just jump right in and take a look at the pictures. Alright, so of course we have to start off with the best one, the most important one. Of course, the only set that matters here. This is set number 76244, and it is simply titled Miles Morales versus Morbius. I mean, they could have easily just called the Morbius set and it would have sold fantastically, because this will be the best-selling set of all time. It will be truly one of the Marvel sets of all time. But this is the LEGO Marvel Morbius versus Miles Morales set, and it's quite interesting because it is a versus set that pretty much only focuses on just a vehicle for Miles Morales and not really anything for Morbius. I really love this little snippet in the set description. Let me pull up exactly what the text says, but it says, it features Miles Morales and vampire villain Morbius, and it also includes, quote-unquote, a pair of bats to assist Morbius in his crooked plans. I really like the way that sounds. That is really funny. Now, at the time of this recording, LEGO, I believe it was a mistake, but they did not actually give me the US prices of any of these sets, so I don't actually know how much this will cost in the United States. However, it will cost around 25 euros in pretty much all the different Euro regions, so I would assume it's going to be something like $25, which I guess makes sense. That's pretty steep for what it is, to be completely honest. It is a really nice looking car. It kind of feels like something out of Speed Champions. I wouldn't be surprised if they literally use the Speed Champions base, but each Speed Champions car is not $25, so maybe there's something else going on here. I definitely feel like this could have easily been a $20 set, especially because Morbius doesn't really have anything else with him, of course, other than his bats to assist him with his crooked plans, because what else does Morbius need other than bats? But, I mean, I guess it would have been cool to get, I don't know, maybe a little bike build for him, or even a battling car or something, just something to make it feel more worth it. Now again, this is just speculation. I don't know how much this costs in the US, but 25 euros, just the euro price alone, feels a little high for this offering. But come on, you have to get it. It's the Morbius set, so LEGO really got us there. So the Morbius minifigure itself is actually quite good. It is a comic-accurate Morbius, so you can see he has two different faces. One that is a little bit more closer to what he looked like in the movie, that's kind of the standard growling face, and then one that's a little bit more calm. He has the same exact visual effects that from the Morbius movie on the box art, which is hilarious, because obviously this is meant to be a comic book set, but he literally has that cloud of bats trailing behind him like he does in the movie, so that's quite funny. Even got a vial of, I guess, blood. Is that officially like blood represented in a LEGO set? He's holding a bottle of it. Maybe they'll call it like chemicals or something, but that is quite funny. The car itself is pretty good, actually. It's probably one of the best superhero cars we've gotten in a while. It's actually remarkably well designed. I love the way it looks, and it really does feel like a realistic style of Speed Champions-like car. I love how they recolored the LEGO Ninjago crystallized blade in transparent blue to act as the massive exhaust out of the back, which mirrors Miles Morales' lightning powers. The jagged edges on the crystal really do feel like they fit in with the lightning abilities of Spider-Man there, so I think that's pretty cool to get. It is interesting, though, how the entire set is just focused on the car and nothing else, so I don't know how to feel about that. It's okay. The set, of course, is a must-buy, though, because of Morbius. You gotta get it. Moving on from there, we have set number 76245. This is Ghost Rider Mech and Bike. Again, I don't have the US prices, but the Euro price is around 35 euros, which would probably translate to 35 US dollars. I would be surprised if it didn't. 35 for this, again, feels a little bit high, especially with only one minifigure. Maybe if they included like a villain or something like that for him to fight, that would have made a little bit more sense, but if we count them individually, all the Marvel mechs are around $10, so let's say $10 for the mech. That leaves $25 for the bike, which feels very high to me. Even 20 for the bike would have been a lot more fair. If this was priced at $30, I would be a lot happier. $30, 30 euros. But at 35, it's a little steep. 25, I think, makes the most sense, but maybe in today's day and age, LEGO wouldn't do that. But the bike itself, I actually really like the way that this looks. It definitely is an oversized bike type concept. It is very interesting to me how LEGO is doing two of these. Ninjago is also getting an oversized bike, so, driven by a mech, so quite odd that they're doing two of those in the same wave. But, you know, I guess it makes sense. It is a kind of the traditional type of thing to do once you have a standard mech build. Now, interestingly enough, the Ghost Rider mech is not using the standard style of construction as all of the other Marvel mechs, especially for the limbs. Previously, all the other Marvel stuff used mixel joints to allow it to have knees and elbows, which were great, but also pretty skinny. Now they're using the SCCBS Ninjago core pieces, which unfortunately do not bend, so the knees don't bend, and the elbows don't bend, but I guess it is a lot more stable and easier to mount on the bike for kids. And they also are introducing a brand new mech finger piece, which is going to be very useful, also featured in the Ninjago set as well, but that is wonderful to see. Very useful for Bionicle stuff if you're a construction or construction plus action figure builder. Those fingers are great. And it's been a while since we've gotten Ghost Rider, so it's pretty cool to see him here. This is just the regular kind of Johnny Blaze version. We did just get Robbie Reyes a few years ago, so I guess it makes sense to go back to this one, which we haven't seen since 2016, I believe. So quite good to get that. I like the new design for the kind of printing of the face and the torso itself. It's a pretty classic design, but all in all, this is a good set. It's just going to use just one villain. Even just throwing in one extra figure, especially for the price. Very odd to just get one single minifigure in this set. Moving on from that, though, we have some of our MCU Infinity Saga sets. So cool that we're getting more comics Marvel sets. We haven't gotten comics-based sets other than mechs in a while, so I do appreciate getting them. However, they of course are doing the Infinity Saga stuff based off of the older movies, which I think is wonderful. The Marvel, and especially the Marvel Cinematic Universe franchise now, is big enough that it can easily support sets being made off of those older movies. I kind of wish they would go into older movies and give us stuff that we haven't seen before. That's one thing that was great about the first wave of Infinity Saga sets, where most of these sets we got were builds that we never actually got before, or builds that, in the case of the Guardian ship, were just based off of concept art and very inaccurate. But then the two builds we're getting here are just based on sets we got before, but definitely very improved. The first one here is set number 76247. The Hulkbuster, The Battle for Wakanda is the name of it. Retailing for 50 euros? Huh. I don't know about that. 50 for this? The last Hulkbuster, if I remember correctly, was closer to around 35, I want to say, maybe even 30, and it was about the same scale. Now that being said, this is a major improvement over the last one. The detailing is fantastic. The shaping of the torso is really good. That is some phenomenal torso shaping for a mech-like build like this. I really do appreciate the way it's done. But $50, no, I don't think this is worth $50. The prices of these are really high. I don't know why they are so high, and I definitely feel that this, to me, feels like a $35 to $40 set tops. Only 4 minifigures, not 45 for sure, 40 tops. 50 is definitely pushing it, in my opinion. I would personally wait for a sale unless you really want to get this. Now, my opinion may change when I have this in hand. I may be getting fooled by the scale here, and it's actually a lot larger than I initially thought. I don't know. I'm not seeing it, but maybe. We'll see. I'm just not 100% sure how I feel about this particular one, especially because it's just kind of odd in the way that it is so expensive for what you get. That being said, we get a brand new Okoye minifigure who is accurate to her appearances in the Black Panther original film as well as Avengers Infinity War. Very nice to actually get an accurate figure. We've gotten her before, but without the armor pieces and with a pretty generic style of head, so I really do appreciate how they actually have the kind of painting that she has on the top of her head integrated into the figure itself, which is wonderful. We also get a new Bruce Banner figure, which is okay. The old one was fine, I think. There was nothing really that needed to be changed from the Thor Ragnarok version, but it's cool to get another one. I don't know how well the face actually matches up with the character. The smiling face doesn't quite look like the actor himself, but I do like the angry face. You can only barely see it on the back of the box is the only image I have right now, but the angry face as he's kind of trying to revert to his Hulk form is a really good looking one, and definitely one that I think is a lot better than the initial figure, which kind of just colored his eyes green and called it good. Moving on from this, though, we have just one more set that has been revealed. This is set number 76248, the Avengers Quinjet, retailing for 100 euros, so probably 100 US dollars if I had to guess. Now this is, okay, Morbius memes aside, this is the highlight of the wave. This is easily the best Quinjet we have ever gotten from LEGO, and what's even cooler is that it comes with a display stand, making it really feel like a deluxe product, especially compared to a lot of the other LEGO Marvel offerings. The set actually introduces a lot of new minifigures, Captain America in his first movie suit for the Avengers, we've got Loki in a specialized Avengers movie suit, which is wonderful. That is fantastic to see that finally being replicated in accurate fashion as compared to the other slightly inaccurate ones we get, with a new face as well, which is wonderful because the older face that we're using just wasn't it. It didn't really convey Loki's personality. So this is great. We're using the first movie Thor minifigure that we saw from the massive Mjolnir set. We also are seeing Iron Man, the initial one, kind of his first one that he used in the Avengers films. So all great suits all around to see here. Even Black Widow in a new suit as well with arm printing, which is wonderful. So the minifigure selection is fantastic here. Wouldn't have really wanted to ask for anything else. I guess we could have gone for, I don't know, Hawkeye or Hulk, but this is pretty good. If you're only going to include 5 minifigures, these are the 5 to include, and this is just really cool because it is the most accurate Quinjet we have ever gotten from LEGO. Big fan of the way this turned out, especially with the way the cockpit is shaped. They're using a recolored Speed Champions windscreen in transparent blue on the side of the cockpit to kind of give it a bulbous look, and then using an older style of LEGO canopy in trans blue for the front part there, so everything looks great to me. I like the usage of the new curved slope pieces for the sides of the wings, and yeah, for $100, this is a lot more like it. This is fair. Sure, if I were to really look at it, this probably is only, in my mind, worth 80, maybe 85, but it is such a good set that honestly, I will excuse it. $100 is fair for this. You even have a different sticker alternative that you can use if you want to make it an Avengers one or a S.H.I.E.L.D. one, which is wonderful. I love that. And all in all, this is easily the best set of the wave, other than Morbius, of course. The Morbius set is one of the best. It's not just the best set of the wave, it's one of the Marvel sets of all time. So that's a whole different category. But out of the other sets, this is easily the best set of the wave. Very happy to get this fantastically detailed Quinjet, and that sums up the 4 sets that have been revealed so far. These are the only ones LEGO has sent to me through the LEGO Ambassador Network, so there may be more. I am just kind of really working off of the sets that they've shown me. I believe there are more for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie, but those are releasing around March, so we don't have pictures of those yet. Overall, a pretty interesting wave. I really like the MCU-styled sets in terms of builds. I definitely feel that in terms of prices, none of these sets are really good. Not one of these sets feels like a good deal to me, and I'm sorry to say that because they are good builds, especially the MCU-styled ones, but it's just really, really expensive, especially the Hulkbuster for $50 feels very odd to me. Ghost Rider bike only having 1 minifigure for $35 feels quite odd. We've got the Miles Morales car for $25, really should have been $20. That's probably the most accurately priced one. Like, $25 is not bad for this compared to the prices of the other wave, but yeah, it's just kind of strange how the prices of these sets are just honestly not as good as they typically are for especially the comic-style Marvel stuff and the MCU Infinity Saga stuff, which were of course always expensive, but never egregiously expensive like this. But that's just my opinion. I'm very curious to hear yours, so do let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree about the prices and of these sets? And which ones will you be picking up day one? Obviously, I will be getting all of these day one, like I do with most other themes, but I'll be building the Morbius one first, because you gotta get that Morbius figure. Alright, let's MORB out. I'll see you later. Alright, and with that, we have summed up our look at the 2023 January LEGO Marvel sets. Very cool that we're getting a remake of the original Avengers Quinjet. That is fantastic to see, and it is easily the best one that they have done yet, with some really accurate minifigures. Big fan of that. Of course, quite excited to get that Morbius LEGO set. Initially, the rumors were saying that he would get a mech, so it's kind of a shame that it's really just focused on the Miles Morales car, and Morbius doesn't really have a vehicle of his own, besides the 2 bats that assist him in his crooked deeds. But still, it's very, very funny to be getting an official LEGO Morbius figure. Quite excited for that. And Ghost Rider as well. We haven't seen him in a few years, so very exciting to get a Ghost Rider mech and bike. And lastly, the Hulkbuster. While it definitely doesn't feel very fresh compared to some of the recent stuff, it is easily one of the best minifigure scale versions of it they've ever done, and those new minifigs included in the set are quite good. So overall, a pretty strong showing for the first 4 sets revealed for Marvel 2023. Obviously, there's gotta be more. I'm sure they're not gonna just do 4 sets, so we'll have to wait and see what other stuff we're going to get. But as of right now, that sums up our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and be sure to stay tuned for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Bye for now.